It was boarded up some 30 years, being like so many people that have driven past this building innumerable times.
You stare up at it and go, man, I would love that.
Even in a city of Detroit, it defied logic that a building like this grand and this spectacular, wouldn't be developed and used.
2006, the city put out an RFP for it, and I think we were one of about a dozen companies that went after it. We closed on the building the tail end of 2011, and we started work on it immediately in January.
And the first phase was to stabilize the building. We had put a new roof on, we had the windows restored, solidified the exterior of the building, the facade restoration, and we of course abated the building and secured it structurally so that when the workers started to come in, it would be a safe environment to work in. We have decided to open 2 restaurants on the first floor. One will be the Republic, which will be a tavern, and then secondly we will have a diner, which we're calling the Parks and Rec Diner.
We wanted to give a nod with both the restaurants to the history of the building itself. It was built in the late 1890s, actually as a meeting place for the veterans of the Union Army from the Civil War. GAR, the Grand Army of the Republic, which was that organization, in its original papers said that when the last veteran of the Civil War dies, the building would revert back to the city. When the city took it over, ultimately it became a Parks and Rec center. Early 80s, Coleman Young didn't have a cash to keep it open, and also there wasn't that much involvement or activity here in the neighborhood, so it was mothballed at that point. It sat empty for about 30 years, and that's when we stepped in.
It's a 5-story building, and it's classified that way because the top floor, which we call the 4th floor, has a balcony that has over 50% of the square footage of the building, so they designate that as a proper 5th floor. And that's the space where Minefield will put our offices. 3rd floor we will lease out to a tenant. The 2nd floor, though, would be an excellent event space. The total project cost is going to be near the $4 million mark. Hopefully slightly below, probably slightly above. We hope to open the Parks and Rec Diner a couple weeks prior to the November 8th grand opening. And then shortly after the grand opening, we'll open Republic. And then in the month of December, again 2014 still, we plan to move Minefield over into the space on the upper floors.